So what's the latest on Raúl's paperwork situation and his status for this weekend?
What did I say earlier in the week? Provided the U.S. government doesn't screw it up, he'll be in Atlanta, and I'd probably stick to that statement as long as unforeseen things don't come to grips. We'll probably see him in Atlanta.
So it's not finalized yet,
Not
but still
finalized
progressing.
yet. Garth and those guys have been working nonstop, so they're working on it.
Looked like Clint was a little bit limited today. Is he carrying any kind of...
Pro day, they're all on separate things. Chad came out a little bit. We need to get everybody ready for it's going to be a hard game, so that's normal.
Do you expect both him and Chad to be available on Sunday and travel?
Yeah. I'm expecting that everybody in this squad is going to be available and wanting to play. That's what we're expecting. We're getting some reinforcements. We had a good week. It's a big game, national TV. I think everybody's going to want to play.
Sure. Got 4 points from 2 road matches on tight turnaround last week. How can you try to carry that momentum against an Atlanta team that's red hot?
Well, you got to defend well. You got to be able to establish possession in their part of the field. You got to watch counters. You got to score goals. It's the offense, defense. How do you get your team to perform up to their standard? And then, maybe snag a set piece here or there. It's doable. It's MLS.
You guys are the follow game from the World Cup final on Sunday on national TV.
Yeah.
Big opportunity to make a statement about how you want the rest of the season to go?
Yeah, for sure. Maybe some new players, maybe some returning players, maybe big audience, good result would definitely help us going into the second part of the season.
It's pretty rare that the Sounders ever go away and go up against a bigger home crowd than you get here. I don't know if that's ever really happened in the MLS era. Will that be disorienting at all to go and sort of play against such a hostile environment in some ways?
No, I think our guys are used to big crowds and big atmospheres. We've got a lot of big-time players that have played in big venues, pressure moments, stuff like that. So I don't think there's anything negative about it. I'm hoping it actually has the opposite effect. That we go down there and we look at the crowd and, hey, this is really cool. It's a big event, so let's get after it. That's what we're hoping for.
The narrative with Atlanta, at least nationally, seems to be like they kind of are the new standard for what an expansion franchise can be and achieve, and maybe got set up to do that by you guys. Do you buy into that at all, or do you think that's a valid way of looking at it?
Well, what I would say is that there have been plenty successful expansion franchises. If you're Chicago had the most successful, right? Because they were successful on the field and all that. We were successful because we packed the building, had immediate success making the playoffs. And then teams always, executives around the league always come and visit those teams that have had success. I know Adrian and Bart Wiley and Chris Henderson, those guys spent a lot of time going to other franchises. Hey, what worked with your launch? What worked with yours? And I know there's been Montreal, Vancouver. I don't know if the Atlanta people specifically came up there. That'd be a good question for you to ask Chris or Adrian. But each MLS, they did?
They came
okay.
here.
Yeah, so they came here. So, that's just being smart. If something worked, you're going to go out there and try and find some information that might work in your particular market. So, kudos to them. They've done a great job, but you could say that there were some other teams in their era, that were the trailblazers, the trendsetters, and we certainly think of us as one of those teams.